Hi again, it's Mr. Teal coming to you for September 16th. This is for those individuals who are either absent and don't want to get behind, or for those people that just want some extra help while they're at home. First thing I would ask that you do is go ahead and take out a piece of paper and do today's self-start. Go ahead and just hit pause and then come back to me to check your work. So go ahead and hit pause now. Okay, welcome back. We're going to go ahead and check the self-start for today. It says create a number line to solve the following: 4 plus a negative 8. So hopefully you've drawn the number line just like what I've got here. For me personally, I like to start like reading a book, so I like to start on the left. So I'm going to go 4 in the positive direction. So I may have to make sure that I always start at my 0. So I'm going to go 4 jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4. My next thing is I need to go 8 places in the negative direction. So I'm not going to start at 0, but I'm going to start where I left off with that 4. So I'm going to go 8 in the negative. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, which leaves me at a negative 4. So the answer to 4 plus a negative 8 would be a negative 4. The second part says create a model using integer chips to check your answer. So integer chips, again, as a reminder, those are things like plus sign and minus sign, just to kind of show positive and negative. So looking back up here, that 4 is a positive, so I'm going to draw myself 4 positive signs. My 8 is a negative, so I'm going to go ahead and draw 8 negative signs. Now, with the 0 pairs we talked about earlier this week, that allows me to take all those and cancel them out, which leaves me with 1, 2, 3, 4 negatives, which is the same answer that I got right up here. So that means I am good for my work. So you're welcome to hit pause if you want to read the deep thought for the day. When time started this week, so there you go. So for today's lesson, we're actually going to be talking about subtracting integers. So yesterday was all about adding. Today we're doing subtracting. The cool thing with subtracting is it's almost like a superpower, where you have the ability to kind of change any subtraction equation. And that's kind of what we're going to be practicing today. So we're going to change those subtraction problems into addition problems, just because addition's a lot less scary than subtraction is. Now make sure to use the power wisely, because you don't have to use this power on all of the problems. You only have to use them for subtraction problems. So if it's already an addition problem, don't do anything. Just do what you've done the last couple of days. So the one thing you have to remember, and this is what a lot of people forget, is every time that you use your superpower and change a subtraction into an addition problem, there has to be a consequence that follows. So if you change the subtraction into an addition, you have to change the number, or change the sign of the number on the right of it as well. So I'll do some examples to kind of explain what that means. So for example, something like this. In first grade, you were taught 6 minus 3. Okay, I just do subtraction, and I get an answer of 3. Well, in 7th grade, you're now going to change that subtraction to addition, just like this. When you do that, you have to make sure that you change the sign of the number that follows it. So because I changed that from subtraction to addition, that positive 3 now becomes a negative 3. So now I have 6 plus a negative 3. Now with this, if I want to solve it, I could do 6 positives. That's kind of an ugly positive. There we go. And 3 negatives. 0 pair, 0 pair, 0 pair. And that leaves me with 3 positives, which is exactly what I got earlier. So it's really nice to kind of change these types of problems, because for me personally, they are a lot less intimidating. I would much rather do addition than subtraction, but that's just me. So let's try this again. So I'm going to go through a couple of examples, and you have to decide whether or not you need to use your superpower. So here we go. So you have to tell yourself Do I need to use superpower on this problem? Hopefully you said yes, because that subtraction can become an addition and change that to a negative. How about this one? Yes, again, because it's a subtraction, I'm going to change it, and there we go. So change it, there's your consequence. You change the sign next to it. How about this one? Hopefully you said no, because it's already an addition problem. We don't care what this is over here. So because it's already an addition problem, I don't need to change it because it's already there. How about this one? Again, hopefully you said no, I don't, because it's already an addition problem, so there's nothing to change. So what we're going to do is just practice kind of what we've been doing the last couple of days, is using our superpower and then applying it. So we've got a problem here of 4 minus 6. So hopefully you've noticed that it's a subtraction already. So I'm going to change that into a plus, but I have to remember that there's a consequence. I have to change the sign of the number next to it. So instead of a positive 6, it becomes a negative 6. So now instead of 4 minus 6, it's now 4 plus a negative 6. I bet you guys can figure this one out, but just in case, I'm going to go ahead and graph it. Let's do blue. So I'm going to go start with my positive 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then now I can look at that and say it's a negative 6. So now I'm going to go 6 in the negative. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my answer is a negative 2. So 4 plus a negative 6 gives me an answer of a negative 2. And again, if you want to check your work, it does say create an integer chip. So I'm just going to do 4 plus signs. I'm going to do 6 negative signs. There's a 0 pair, there's a 0 pair. I know these are kind of sloppy, but it'll work. 0 pair, and I'm left with 2 negatives, so that answer matches this answer. But what if both of them are negative? Then what do we do? Well, the answer is the same thing we just did. It's a subtraction problem, so I'm going to change it into addition. Because I used my superpower, I have to change the sign to the number next to it, this one right here. I don't do anything with this negative 3. We leave it as is, because the consequence always follows the superpower. So instead of a positive 5, I'm going to change it to a negative 5. So now I have a negative 3 plus a negative 5. So I'm going to have you guys pause it and see if you can do this on the number line and check your work using those integer chips. So go ahead and pause it now. Okay, so let's check your work. So negative 3, so I always start at 0, and I'm going to go 3 in the negative direction. 1, 2, 3. So now my next one says a negative 5. So I'm going to go 5 jumps in the negative direction from where I just left off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I ended up at a negative 8. To check my work, I'm just going to draw 3 negative signs for that. And then for the negative 5, I'm going to draw 5 negative signs. Now remember, for this problem, there is no positive sign, so I can't do any 0 pairs. So there's nothing to cancel out. So I'm just going to count how many negative signs there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So this answer would match my number line. Oh, now we're getting harder. So now we would have a 5 minus a negative 5. Still a subtraction problem. You still use that superpower. Because you use that superpower, you still have to have a consequence. So instead of a negative 5, it now becomes a positive 5. So now, 5 plus a positive 5. Hopefully you guys can figure out what 5 plus 5 is. If you can't, there you go. 5 plus 5 is 10. So this is just, it's kind of different because you've never experienced having to do this before. So if you're frustrated, you're not quite understanding it, try going back in the video, try it again, but realize we are going to get quite a bit of practice with this, so don't get too discouraged with it. So I'm going to go ahead and have you guys hit pause, try to solve this one. Okay, hopefully you came back and said, oh, it's a subtraction. There's my superpower. There's my consequence. 1, 2, and then 5 jumps positive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I ended up at a positive 7. Okay. Ooh, now we're dealing with a hard question. So you have to think to yourself, do I have to use my superpower? The correct answer would be yes, because look, it's a subtraction problem. So I can change it there. Oh, I see another subtraction problem though. So I'm going to do the same thing. It's okay that you'd use your superpower twice. You just have to make sure that the consequence follows each time you use it. So I had 2 superpowers and 2 consequences. So I would have a -2 plus a -3 plus a -4. That would look like this. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. And all of these are going in the negative direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would give me an answer of a -9. So in class today, we're going to learn a song. It goes to the music of Row, Row, Row Your Boat. So I'll just sing it for you. This is going to be really embarrassing, I know, but just go with it. Just understand who your math teacher is, I guess. So it says, same signs add and keep, different signs. Oh, whoop. I'm just kidding. Let's try it again. Same signs add and keep, different signs subtract. Use the sign of the bigger number, then you'll be exact. Same signs add and keep, different signs subtract. Use the sign of the bigger number, then you'll be exact. So what that basically means is same signs add and keep. So if both numbers are positive, add them together. If both numbers are negative, add them together. So -2 plus a -2, add them together, it's a -4. If they're different signs, so if one's positive, the other's negative, then you would say something like 4 plus a negative, or 4 plus a -2, and that would give you 2. So if they're different signs, you can't combine them to make 6. So you have to basically take them away from each other. Use the sign of the bigger number. So if I have a -20 and a positive 10, which number's bigger? Don't get fooled by that negative sign. 20 is actually further away from 0 than 10 is. So even though it's negative, that's still the bigger number. So because 20 is bigger, -20 is bigger than 10, it's a negative, so my answer is going to be negative as well. So hopefully that helps. If not, you're always welcome to email or ask me for some help when you come back. Hopefully we see you soon. Bye, guys.